have been re-accredited by NBA for computer and mechanical engineering branch. Currently, we are having 7 branches, including automobile, electronics and computer, EXTC. Then we have civil engineering, we have computer engineering, we have information technology, then we have electrical also. And we are actually in first cycle, we have been graded by NAC. And we are also winner of first position for Work Safety Award from Bombay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, BCCI, and Indian Merchant Chamber, Ramkrishna Bajaj National Quality Performance Excellence Trophy, 2019. Sir, we have situated at Rasaini, Khalapur. And now, because this time we have this limitation of visiting the campus, so we thought of we should have a virtual tour of our campus so that you will come to know where we situated. I request Mr. Sunil Singh to play video of our institute. Over to you, Sunil Singh.
Is it the screen is visible?
Yes.
One man's vision, Dr. K.M. Vasudevan Pillai's, and the faith of Dr. Daphne Pillai in that vision, that we call, the Mahatma Education Society, was established in 1970. The great vision, education for all, and the belief that, no religion is greater than truth, have driven Mahatma Education Society always to choose the road less traveled. The commitment to contribute one's share and play one's part for the development and progress of the Indian society through education has made Mahatma Education Society a consummate social entrepreneur. 1970 was a difficult time that India had to pass through, yet the optimism and the tenacity to walk an unbeaten path helped Mahatma Education Society grow from strength to strength, and now, half a century later, has 48 stellar academic institutions of very high repute under its canopy. Mahatma Education Society proudly celebrates its Golden Jubilee in 2020 with a plethora of accomplishments, achievements and recognitions of its students, teachers, and alumni. That includes the appointment of Air Vice Marshal Dhananjay Vishnuwani and a first runner-up in Miss World 2019, Ms. Suman Rao, an alumnus of Kember English High School. Forward-looking, proactive, and always advancing its portfolio, Mahatma Education Society became a leader in higher and professional education, establishing multiple colleges of engineering and technology, management, architecture, education, etc. Pillai HOC College of Engineering and Technology. Mahatma Education Society is earnest about digital and technical empowerment of present and future students. To meet this purpose, Pillai HOC College of Engineering and Technology, PHCET, Rajayani, Raigad, District, Maharashtra was established in 2009 in a rural community to provide high-quality engineering education. PHCET is affiliated to Mumbai University with 7 excellent departments with BE program in automobile, civil, computer, electrical, electronics and telecommunication, information technology, and mechanical engineering. Mumbai University has recognized PHCET, a young institution, as a lead cluster college for conducting the university examinations. PHCET is accredited by NAC with an A grade in the first cycle in 2019, and is the first in Raigad district. BE Computer and Mechanical Engineering program accredited by NBA for the second time. ME program in Civil, Computer, Electronics and Telecommunication and Mechanical Engineering and PhD program in Civil and Computer Engineering are also offered. PHCET excels with a very beautiful, sprawling and safe campus with state-of-the-art academic, research, infrastructure, and sports facilities. A proof is that PHCET is the winner of the first Best of the Workplace Safety Awards in 2019 from Bombay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, BCCI. An extremely quality-conscious organization, it pays very special attention to each student with personal mentoring, exciting projects, and opportunity for participation in university, state, and national level competitions. Every year several of the PHCET students have been rank holders in the university examinations, winning large number of prizes in academic, research and technical competitions, and sports competitions. An evidence for quality consciousness is that PHCET is the winner of the Performance Excellence Trophy from Indian Merchants Chambers Ramkrishna Bajaj National Quality Award, RBNQA, in December 2019. PHCET strives to accomplish everything in its power to empower the students, faculty, and all the stakeholders. Measuring the employability of every student from second year and helping with special training to enhance the performance in job placements and become suitable for industry requirements. PHCET has a newly developed in-house manufacturing facility where the students can gain on-the-job training and improve their employability. The commitment of PHCET is unambiguous. When students leave PHCET, they should be confident and competent engineers determined to meet the challenges that may come in their professional and personal lives and take risks as appropriate, and have a winner's attitude, no matter what background they come from when they enter PHCET. And the motto, "Knowledge is excellence at work," leads PHCET on.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. R.C. Prasad, sir, President IIC, to take over. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Patil. So, first of all, I will welcome Mr. Sunil Sable. We are interacting with him for the first time. As you know that this talk is about intellectual property rights. So we are going to talk about properties. There are three words: intellectual properties and rights. We can have right if we have got a property. Now this property is what type of property? Is it just ideas, intellectual, or physical? That is how I understand it. So I would just like to share a few slides, to just clear my concept about that. IPR. So first of all, I would like to just tell you that recently we have established a Institute Innovation Council, and it has got several coordinators. Dr. Mansi Subedar is the coordinator for intellectual property rights for this IIC. And every coordinator arranges some programs. Okay. First of all, let me just tell you, as the very video that was presented to you gave some idea about my institute. And we had already incubation center in our college. I welcome you if you come sometimes, and it is an excellent place, a very large space, made in such a beautiful way that you will be impressed by it, because I have seen IITs, I have seen many parks also. Okay. And I think that our park and our center will excel any other centers that I have seen so far. Okay, that's great. So we have got already a incubation center. Yes. And our students always come for idea clubs. Okay. We are also a participant of Atal Ranking Academy. And we also participate in National Institute of Ranking Framework. As it was mentioned to you that NBA and NAC, we are accredited. You see, these are one of the requirements should be there before you start this Institute Innovation Council. And so far, we almost have everything. Great. We are not government or government funded institutes, neither we are deemed universities, but we are affiliated to Mumbai University. And our endeavor is that we become independent and, become autonomous, because, we can carry our own programs and agendas that can suit the present day requirement of the industries. So with that, I will go to the next slide. Actually, we do several programs that how to, because, if you want to innovate, you will have to do research. that research may be, by way of uh, uh, physical, or it may be, some sort of a invention or some sort of a product development. Right. So we try to do so many other activities, and recently we have conducted so many programs that I will send you the details about that. Okay. We have conducted so many short-term training programs on in manufacturing area, like composites. That is a material which is going to be extensively used for aerospace industries. And as you know that our defense sector is becoming buoyant these days. So we have taken initiative in that, and we are going to plan another short-term training program on Industry 4.0. You can know that we are right up to the latest level of education, Industry 4.0, and we are trying to achieve Education 1.0 for Industry 4.0. So those were some of the initiatives, that we have taken. And in this chain to go further, we have started a competition idea. And, this Institute Innovation Council has invited undergraduate and postgraduate students to showcase their design talents and skills to develop product that is in the concept stage, that has potential to develop into actual products to be launched into the market in the near future. So it goes from concept to actual product and then to launching. Once it is launched, then we have created some properties. Of course, I think we have created a property right at the level of concept level also. So we are going to organize this showcase design talent contest. And I have gone through, this has got 6 categories. I'm telling this because this is the occasion where a large number of students are gathered together, and a large number of our faculty members are present here. So this is not spanning to one department. This is spanning to almost all these 7 departments that Dr. Patil mentioned. It can be related to a product design. It can be related to communications design. It can be related to mobility design, service design, spatial design, and design for social impact. Now, I was just going through your website because I have got a habit of just looking into your company, and I got that what are the patent requirements. Okay. I got through from your website, and I would like to quote. So I find that similarity with the requirement of your patents and our requirement for development of Innovation Council. I'm quoting from something from your thing and something from our side. Okay. Here, this patent requirement is, in this we highlight the salient features of overall design, So as you say that when you file a patent, there are certain things which has to be given, some information has to be given. In this design talent, also some information has to be given. So what is the title of your invention? Here, what is the title of your design solutions? So both the things are matching. True. Right. Second thing is, what was the prior existing technology that is existing to the invention? Now here also, design solutions and what was the prior design solution, if any, existing? And what are its advantages? Similarly, as you say in patent, what is the objective of that patent? What are the advantages of your invention? So similar way, what are the objective of your this design solution, and what are the advantages of your invention? What type of problems you are going to solve? What type of products you are going to develop, by your innovative ideas? And next is, how is your invention idea different from others? Because we are not copying the ideas of somebody else. We are having a natural this thing. So how is your invention or idea different from others? Sure. And there in the patent, you also give the complete description of the invention. Right, that, the introduction, ideas, and so many sections that you give. Here also, they will give their ideas in different components of it. materials, charts, sketches, whatever it may be, like they write in their BE or any theses, that format, I don't know what format they can give.
Okay.
How will it be feasible? When they are giving the ideas, it should be also, because it's at the concept stage. So this concept stage must be feasible, in a product level. So they should show that how is it feasible, how it is going to work, and what are the applications of your, you call it patent invention, I call it is design idea. So I found some similarities between how you write a patent and how the students can write about that.
Correct.
This can be constituted, since we have invited BE and ME, students can use their mini projects. They can use their BE projects or ME projects, as a base for that, for developing these ideas. And we are going to assess it and evaluate it on the basis of criteria of solution, need, and potential. How well does this concept design solve the identified problem? And how well design thinking is used, and the process between the insight would also be considered. What is the aesthetics and utility and novelty? How well is design described and how it satisfies the identified needs? Feasibility. Is the design solution based on logical and sound hypothesis and judgment? And these are some of the aspects that I have elaborated, and we have given the details to all the students. Okay. So this is one step forward, because you are going to talk of intellectual property rights and how to write a patent, because finally that has to result in. So I try to connect some of the information that is required in patent, and that is our step is one step ahead towards that. So with that, I think I welcome you to this PHCT campus, which is a young college, not so young, 10 years old, okay, and more than 10 years old. And I will now invite Dr. Mansi Subedar to just introduce the guest, for today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Manasi Subedar, the IPR coordinator of IIC of our institution. I feel happy to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Suneet Sable. Basically, he is a mechanical engineer and he is a registered Indian patent practitioner. He is working in this patent industry for more than 15 years. He is also a visiting faculty at Savitribai Phule Pune University and Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Intellectual Property Management. He is serving as a committee member of National Innovation and Startup Policy at various reputed organizations like ASIMS College of Engineering, Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Engineering, our Panvel campus, that is Pillai College of Engineering, and many more. He is currently working as a founder, director, and CEO at Brainiac Private Limited. Basically, he started this Brainiac IP Solutions in the year 2010 with an intention to safeguard the invention of the companies and assist them in making more profits by saving turnaround time on R&D and by protecting the invention with maximum coverage, thereby preventing others from getting away with minor modifications. He has received a Global Achievers Award in the year 2016 and Young Entrepreneur Award for his excellence in the patent field. I welcome you again, sir. We all thank you for accepting our invitation. And without wasting time, I now request you to start with your session. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mansi, Dr. Prasad, and Mr. Patil sir, Dr. Patil sir. It's my pleasure to give a presentation to the Pillai College new campus. So without taking much time, I would like to present my screen. I'm not able to do it. And also I welcome everyone who is attending this webinar. Good morning to everyone. I hope this will be a good insight for starting a startup. This will help you in how to protect your intellectual property when you have an idea of starting a startup.
Suneet sir, just let me what your talk is intellectual testing. We are going to record it if you permit it so.
It's already recorded. I think so. I have permitted it.
Okay, thank you.
Someone is. I'm not able to present my screen. There is a problem. Host disabled participation.
GV sir, can you please make sir co-host? Because I am GV sir is host, so he can only make you co-host so that you can share your screen actually.
In the meantime, just I will brief you about what I'm going to take. I will brief you
Dr.
about
Patil is
startup.
there? Sorry, sir. 1 minute.
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
Patil is there? Hello.
Sir, I'll talk to him, sir.
Okay, please. Okay, in the meantime, you can just say something.
Yes, that's all. So this presentation, it was about IPR for startups. So that is the reason it's not exactly patent focused. So I'm covering all the aspects of intellectual property. And if time permits, I will definitely run you through a few strategies which can be utilized to protect your inventions through patents and design applications. So I have a few strategies that are there. We are already working with a lot of colleges apart from the colleges that we have listed. We are helping them in creating policies, agreements between the inventors and the college, even connecting them with the industries. Your college also has a good industrial setup where people can develop a product. So that is a very good setup that can be utilized by the startups. So connecting the startups with the colleges, that also we are trying to do, and we are also trying to help colleges in getting more points while accreditation through IPR. So few times what happens is patents, inventions are filed, but sometimes it doesn't pass through patentability test. So in that case, if you require, yes, I got the screen sharing, and if you require any help, we can also help you in that. So I will start with the presentation. Just give me a minute. Oops. Just This is asking my permission. Just give me a minute. I'm facing problem with sharing screen, so anyone can help me with
So
that.
what error you are getting, sir?
It's showing open operating system preferences. So I have open system. I'm using Mac actually.
Okay, you're using Mac, na?
So on system preferences, I get privacy, but I'm not able to click on that button. Zoom.
Because we have already made you host actually. So now you can share, you have the rights now, you can easily share your screen and everything.
Yes. Just a minute.
At the bottom you will find the option of share screen.
Yes, that is available. That is, I'm not, my system is not providing access actually. It's not providing permission. Okay, so Can I share this presentation to someone and they can present?
Yes, sir. You can email it to me. I'll do that, sir. Dr. Mansi here.
Yes, yes, yes. I will do that immediately so
Yes.
that in the meantime I can start the presentation. Sorry for that.
Sunil sir, if you are host, shall we email it to you or you have to make me host again?
No, I'm co-host, ma'am. I can do that.
Okay, then we'll mail it to you, sir.
Sure.
Extremely sorry for this problem. Extremely sorry.
No problem, sir. It's okay.
No, sir. Actually, we haven't also experienced about the Mac. We are all using Windows, so we know, and there's no issue about sharing this screen. But for Mac, we're getting issue.
It sometimes happens, Mac does not allow.
Yeah, then we know that.
And it becomes very difficult actually. So Dr. Mansi has shared this presentation with you. And before taking, instead of taking more time, I will start with the presentation, and then whenever you get it, you can just share it with us. Yeah. So, we have two companies actually, Brainiac IP Solutions and Brainiac Global Consulting Private Limited. So Brainiac Global Consulting Private Limited was founded in 2018, and Brainiac IP Solutions is a proprietorship company which was formed in 2010. So this workshop is basically about work on intellectual property rights and IPR management for startups. So what is a startup? So this is a definition that I have created based on my understanding and which is very much focused towards intellectual property. So what I think a startup is a new company formed to solve a unique problem which many people are facing by providing a unique solution. Okay, scalability, financial factors, whether it can be scaled, how much large you can make the company, these are financial aspects. But when it comes to technology, the problem has to be unique and the solution also has to be unique and scalable. Okay? So that is what we define as a startup. For these unique solutions, whatever unique solutions you are providing, if you don't have a monopoly on that unique solutions, it is very much possible that your solutions can be copied by multiple people. Okay, so you'll face a lot of competition in future, which any investor doesn't like. Okay, just for example, if you see Zomato, Swiggy, so they have a little different concept, but they are delivering food at doorsteps. There was Food Panda. I don't know what happened with Food Panda earlier. It was not able to sustain because I think so for service industry, getting a monopoly is a little difficult. Filing a patent application for service industries, it's a little difficult. But if you are a product driven industry, definitely patents, trademarks and patents definitely can be filed and it can help you in securing your solution. So if there is no monopoly on your unique solution, it becomes difficult for the investors to invest, and also it becomes very difficult for a startup to sustain the competition. So how to get monopoly on various aspects of IPR, I will discuss today. Okay. Further, before going ahead with the IPR facilities, there are a lot of aspects that are being listed by many companies, many magazines, that a lot of startups are failed. A lot of startups fail. So reason for failure is, there are many reasons, but I was able to find three particular reasons. One is 90% of the startups fail before 5 years from their date of inception. Within 5 years, if the startup does not sustain for first 5 years, then it's bound to fail within first 5 years itself. So 90% close down in first 5 years and at least 5% in next 5 years. So if the company has sustained for 10 years, definitely it can go ahead and create miracles in the business industry. Okay. First reason, lack of innovation. 77% of the respondents felt that lack of innovation was one of the biggest reasons why Indian startups failed. So most of the startups, what they do is, this is my understanding. We have also been judging many startups. Generally what happens is most of the startups use concepts, ideas from the Western countries. They just try to implement the same in India. In that case, there is lack of innovation actually. If there is no innovation, you're just picking up some idea from the foreign countries and you're just implementing. Most of the service industries like Swiggy, one of the examples is Swiggy actually. So Those kind of ideas were already there somewhere, and we have implemented just in an Indian way. So this is not an innovation. If you want to sustain in the market, you have to be innovative. If you see Amazon, Amazon is really doing very good. Actually, they are coming up with various solutions. They are now into every industry. If you also look at the patent portfolio of Amazon, they are into everything now. They are into everything. So that is a scale of innovation they are doing. Even
Sir,
they are,
sorry to interrupt you.
yes,
I hope the screen is visible. So let him know from which slide you would like to go ahead.
is slide number 9. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Amazon, I was talking about Amazon actually. Amazon is not only into the service industry, but they have their own products. Their software products are there, the physical products are there. They even have collaboration with a lot of mobile companies and even smartwatch companies where they are coming with Amazfit, which is they are launching new watch, smartwatch, which are more cheaper and more with more features. So this is one of the example where you can see there is a continuous innovation happening. And in India, we also feel that there is a lack of innovation. We try to adapt something, we try to reduce the cost, but at the time of doing so, we forget scalability. We forget our customers, whether they will like it or not. Whether it is third thing, whether it is little aesthetically attractive or not. So most of the Indian innovations are little raw, little cost effective, and sometimes we feel that they are little going behind in the technology instead of going ahead in the technology. This is my personal experience. So next slide. So these are the statistics when it comes to patents. Actually, I have just consolidated few statistics of 2018. If you see in first 15-20 countries, there is we don't find India. We are setting up a lot of what I can say aims and objectives and proposing ourselves as an innovative country. But if you see when it comes to patents, this is a tangible source where you can tangibly account what kind of inventions we are doing, or how many number of inventions we have filed. So China is leading. It is filing more patents than US now. Earlier Japan was leading, then US, and now it is China. And economically also China is way better performing than what we are doing. Okay, so with respect to innovation, they have filed almost around 33 lakh 92,000 patents, China, and we have filed somewhere around 61,000 patent application in 2018. Okay, next slide. So this is what the stage of innovation is in India. In India, for example, this is what I told you. In India, in 2018, 61,000 patents were filed, out of which maximum patents are filed by foreign companies. So we found only 2 companies in top 20. It's Tata Group and CSIR. I don't count CSIR because many people know what they do, how they do it, and it is government-funded innovation. So obviously, there is little less accountability on commercialization of the inventions, whether these inventions are really helpful or not. But Tata Group is one of the company where you can see they have little good portfolio. Apart from that, I don't find any Indian company over here which is doing remarkably good or which is in top 20. So not only it's with the startups, not only it's with the institutes or colleges, it's across pan-India. Even large industries are not able to do proper innovation. And if they're doing proper innovation, they don't have an idea how to protect it. What is the value of a patent? What does a patent add value to their invention? Why it is so critical? They don't have any idea of it. Recently, we heard that a few companies have stopped innovating, filing patent application. Crompton Greaves, I heard they stopped their patenting activity. Mahindra has reduced their patent activity. I don't know what are the reasons why they find it a little difficult to file patent application. Yes, definitely. There has to be an ROI. And unless and until there is an ROI, it becomes a huge liability. Patent is a huge liability. One patent for an institute or a big company, it will cost you somewhere around, till grant, it will cost you somewhere around 2 lakh rupees, a ballpark figure. And once it is granted, you need to spend almost 3 to 4 lakhs over a year of 20 years to maintain it. So it's a big liability. So ROI is important, I think. So this Indian companies are little finding difficult to justifying the ROI on their investment. Next slide, please. Second reason, lack of skills. This we too feel the same actually when we start recruiting people for our company. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. I don't know what is happening. Why the people? Why this education? There is a deterioration of little education systems, or there is a lack in good examination procedures, I guess. But we had a word with the principal of one of the college. He said 1 or 2% of the people, students are employable, 1 or 2% in each class. So that is what has happened. Everyone is behind creating their own ventures. But if you don't have skill sets, your ventures are going to fail. So first I would, if anyone is willing to start startup, many people have there is a bubble actually. There are a lot of mentors around who want to teach and get money. So there is a big bubble of these mentors and what I can say, coaches out there who are promoting their business so that they can earn money. And the poor people who don't have any idea, they still want to start their own startup. If they don't have proper skill sets, they are bound to fail. Putting it in statistics and working on the ground are two different things. Scalability is very difficult. We are there in this industry for 10 years and still we are struggling with scalability, and that is how it works. There are very few companies who have scaled it to a larger scale. Zomato is one of the good examples who has sustained, and now they have launched their IPO, which was very successful. So if anyone is willing to start their own startup, first I would request them to have some core skill sets. Then it comes to management, and then it comes to marketing. So first is skill sets, then is management, and third is marketing. If you don't have skill sets, you will always depend on someone, and we don't have that kind of good people in India. That is, our number of good people in India is very less in comparison to the population that we have. Okay, next slide, please. Lack of funding, yes, this is a big problem. Lack of innovation, lack of resource, and third reason is lack of funding. When we don't have innovation, when we don't have proper resource, definitely people will not invest. In India, I don't think so. People don't have money. I think people have a lot of money. They have a lot of money. There are a lot of good investors who can provide investment, but the confidence level that a startup can give to that business or that investor is little, I think so, questionable. So if you are starting a startup, yes, definitely you can attract business if you have first two skill sets with you. Okay. Investments, you can find investments, you can find funding. India has a lot of money, I guess. So that won't be a problem. Next slide, please. So coming back to the core topic of intellectual property. So what is intellectual property? So whenever you solve a problem, there is always the creation of intellectual property. So when you use your mind to solve any problem, when the solution is protected, that is called as intellectual property. So intellectual property can be in the various forms. Patent is one of the forms, design, trademarks. Trademark is the name of the business. Copyrights can be for softwares and other business methods. Trade secret is also one of the biggest aspects that is least considered when a company is formed. And there are a lot of agreements that need to go in. So these are the various things that I will cover in intellectual property today. Next slide, please. Next. Yeah. So as I told you, intellectual property is always created when you solve a problem. So any kind of problem, generally we solve human problems most of the times. So next. By solving this problem, definitely you get recognition, because if you see in the academic fraternity also, the number of patents are counted. Research work plus number of patents, that will definitely give you a leverage in academics, as well as when you are going for a job recruitment, and also when you are creating your own startup. So it is additional benefit is recognition. Next. Standing out of the crowd, definitely people will recognize you, that yeah, this is the person who has innovated this problem has been solved by this particular person, or this industry is doing good, or this is the person who has is the owner of this particular innovation or company. So definitely it will help you in starting out in the crowd and help you in marketing your product services in the market. Next. And definitely you have to earn money. If you're getting monopoly, it's sure that 99% of the competition is curtailed. In that case, you are the only one person who will be providing that kind of solutions. And it's bound to give you a lot of money. Next. Yeah, and how you get money. Intellectual property is a negative right specifically. When it comes to patent, trademark, copyright, it's a negative right because you stop others from using your intellectual property. The more barriers you create, the more is your income. So it's a negative right. The more the barriers, more is the income. If the barriers are not proper, yeah, the income will also not be very good actually. So creating a barrier is one thing, innovation is one thing. So we help patents generally, the patent fraternity who is there, they help you in creating a strong barrier so that the competition is curtailed. If you're creating a good product, yes, but if the competition is not curtailed, you are definitely bound to lose money. Next. Dr. Prasad said earlier, intellectual property is also an asset like other assets. Next slide. Next slide, please. It can be bought, it can be licensed, it can be sold, it can be exchanged. You can take legal action against unauthorized use. There is what I can say, you can file an infringement suit against unauthorized use. So it's almost similar to your other properties like land, home, your car, all things are possible. There is also possibility that in near future there will be a separate code for intellectual property rights. Okay, so what is difference when it comes to intellectual property? It is intangible and non-exhaustive by consumption, which means if you create one property, file one patent, it's not that you will not be able to do another patents. You can do multiple patents without exhausting your resources. So that is the reason you can create multiple properties with your mind. Okay. Next slide, please. So what are the different types of properties? We'll start with the trademark. So trademark is a name that is given to a company or a startup, which gives you an identity in the business or in the customers, which will help you in distinguishing your product, your services, or yourself in the market. If the trademark is filed in a wrong way, if at all you are not able to find a monopoly on the trademark, it is possible that, for example, if it is a generic word, Annapurna Mithai, Annapurna Sweets, Annapurna, what I can say, hotels. So this is one of the example. Annapurna cannot be protected because it is a name of a goddess, for example. So by using Annapurna, it's little difficult to create a big chain. Right? So if you don't have a proper name initially, so scalability becomes a problem. You can start a startup, but it will be a very localized startup where you have local market. If you want to go global, if you want to do something at a larger scale, you have to make sure that the name that you are giving to your company should be unique and it should be available. If it's not available and at the later stages, if at all there is a requirement to withdraw it, you lose all the goodwill that we have created. For example, today Zomato is asked to change its name. Who is going to recognize it, right? After 10, 15 years in the business, if suddenly someone files an infringement case against Zomato, it becomes difficult for them. Even before launching an IPO, if they had to change the name, I don't think so people would have recognized their IPO also. Okay? So before starting any business, you have to make sure that your name is different. Okay, trademark is a sign that individualizes the goods or services of a given enterprise, distinguishes them from the competitors. Okay, so what can be protected? Device, brand, headlines, label, tickets, name, signature, word, letter, numbers, shape of goods. Shape of goods, Coca-Cola bottle is a shape of goods that has been protected. Packaging or combination of color or any combination thereof. So these are the things that you can protect. Okay, next slide, please. Next. So these are the few names that are protected under trademark: Coca-Cola, Philips, Apple, Nestle, Toyota. Next, and their logos. So you can protect your name separately and logo separately. Okay, so logo also gives you an identity, because looking at this logo, you can definitely say first is Audi, second is Tata, Toyota, and Jaguar. So this is what branding creates. Yeah, next slide, please. Apart from that, you can also protect color, sound, smell, shape, holograms, and motion marks. Next, I will run faster. There is also one category as called as well-known marks. So well-known marks, what is well-known marks? Means, for example, if at all someone wants to use Tata or a Bata name in for their business, now it's not possible. Okay, so these are two examples: Tata, Bata, Mahindra. They won't be able to use it because these are considered as a well-known mark. They are well known because they have a lot of publicity and they are into multiple businesses. So if your trademark becomes a well-known mark, then you get blanket protection in all particular 45 categories. Otherwise, there are 45 different categories in which you can file different trademarks. There might be possibility that there are little overlap of the same name in different classes. Okay, so that may be possible. Unless and until your business is same, you cannot file a litigation case against the competitor, even if they are using same mark. Okay, unless and until you have a well-known mark. Next slide, please. So how to choose a mark? It should be distinctive, capable of geographical representation, easy to speak, spell and remember, invented or coined word. It should not be a dictionary word at all. Just make a point of it. Bad marks, it should not be a geographical name, laudatory word, or deceptive mark. Deceptive means it is creating confusion between the users. Yeah. Okay. Next slide. So next is copyright. So copyright definitely is created whenever you are creating a startup. First is the web content that you put into your website, the brochures, the promotional contents that you make. Even if you are creating a software, it can go under copyright. If it is software hardware combination, you can file copyright as well as patent for it. Okay, so copyright is also very important because the life of copyright is a little more. It is 50 years plus life of an author plus 50 years. For trademark, it can go perpetual. You need to renew it after every 10 years. The trademark is perpetual. Copyright is life of the author plus 50 years. And if it is institute, it's 50 years. Next slide, please. Next. So these are some of the examples of copyright you can do. Your literatures, your papers are generally protected by copyright by the publisher actually. So next slide. So apart from this, these are the contents that you can protect under copyright. Engineering drawing is one of the good example. Someone wants to copy your product, first they need to prepare engineering drawings. So if you have copyright for engineering drawings, definitely it can be, you can take legal action against it. So little difference between copyright and other facets of intellectual property. Theft of copyright is considered as a criminal offense. Criminal offense. Okay, so you can file FIR in the police station itself. Okay, so that is a difference between other properties and copyright. Next, yes, next you can. Yeah. So next is trade secret. So this is the most neglected part of any startup, or even large companies actually. So how companies hire people nowadays? Just as my experience, I can differ with many of the people about my experience how it happens. So if at all some company wants to launch a new product, for example, if I want to get into shipping industry, today I am into service industry, I have a lot of money to live, and I want to get into shipping industry. So the easiest way is I will hire people who are already working in shipping industry, who have a lot of good experiences, and they would be able to do what they are doing it for their earlier employer. Okay. So if at all you don't have proper trade secret policies in place, it's very easy to duplicate your business. Okay. In our industry also it's happening. In most of the industries it's happening. So you just it happens. The people who are taken based on the what I can say, their experiences, or people leave the company and start their own industry by picking up the clients from the old company. So this happens only because they don't have proper trade secret policies. So trade secret is any practice or a process of a company that is generally not known outside the company. Information considered as a trade secret gives a company an economical advantage over its competitors, and it is often the product of internal research and development. Okay. So Coca-Cola was one of the good example, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. So that is a good case about Coca-Cola, good story about Coca-Cola and Pepsi. The trade secret of Pepsi was leaked, was tried to be leaked by their employees to Pepsi. Few employees took the trade secret from Coca-Cola and they tried to sell it to Pepsi. But I think so Pepsi was ethical at that time and they refused to take that trade secret. You can just Google it and check that. So it's a very, very wonderful story actually. So most of the trade secret is lost because of your employees only. Most of the trade secret. Theft is little difficult to happen. Next. So what can be what are the trade secrets? Formula, patterns, compilation, programs, devices, method, technique, process, customer list, manufacturing process. So these are the trade secrets. There is no specific act in India to protect a trade secret. Trade secret has to be protected by agreements only. There are no other, there is no specific act about trade secret. And then if someone copies it, you have to prove that it is a theft. Okay, next slide, please. So next is patent. So do you want, everyone please, can you just respond? Do you want me to take more slides on patents over here?
You can take as many slides as you think it will be useful to our students.
Yeah, so a few contents I have not added there, but I will explain them verbally because it was for startups. That is the reason I have covered all the aspects in brief. So patents. So basically patents and design are the two facets that are required when it comes to an engineering product. Third is copyright when it comes to a software product. So for engineering, whenever you create a new idea or a product, you have to file a patent application. Otherwise, you cannot stop the competition. So what is a patent? Patent is a statutory right granted by the government in exchange of complete disclosure of your invention. So Dr. Prasad sir initially told me the requirements of the patent. So these are exactly the same he has told. So I will just elaborate more on complete disclosure. So why complete disclosure is required? First is to validate whether you have really created a new invention or not. Second thing, if you have created a new invention, your patent application will be published after 18 years or before that, depends upon you if you have given request for early publication. And once that invention information is published, the researchers can use that information and move ahead in the technology. So it helps in propagation of the technology. Simultaneously, it gives you a monopoly as well. So basically, it is a win-win situation. Patent is a win-win situation that is being achieved between the society and the inventors or applicants. If you don't give monopoly to the applicants, I think so they will lose motivation in filing patents or even doing research activity. Okay, if they are not able to curtail their competition. For example, I created something, and if I'm not able to get a monopoly on that, everyone is free to copy. Why I will innovate later on? I will not. So that may hamper the society in a greater extent. If I have a good mind and if I am able to provide good solutions, definitely I will not do it because I am not able to get a monopoly. So it's a win-win situation between the inventor and the society. So limited period of monopoly is given 20 years. After that, it becomes public. There is no extension beyond 20 years. After 20 years, it's a public information. You are not bound to extend the patent, and anyone can copy your invention later on. Okay, next slide, please. So there are basically three requirements of patentability. Every country globally who are signatory to Paris Convention and Patent Cooperation Treaty, so law are being regularized. So these are the three requirements of patentability. First is novelty. Novelty means your product, whatever you are going to invent, should be new globally. It should not be novel only in India. Most of the time it happens that we get a query that this product is, no one has launched this product in India. It's only available in this countries, other countries. And I'm the first person in India. I want to file a patent application. Yes, you can file a patent application, but whether it will be granted, no, it will not be granted. Okay. If anyone has filed a patent application out of India, it's published, then you are not eligible to file a patent application. Okay. Second is inventive step. Even if your invention is novel, new, it has to be, it should not be obvious. It should not be an obvious modification to a person skilled in art. Okay, it should not be an obvious modification. So a mechanical example I can give, there are two different technologies that are being used to bind two plates together. So one is rivet, and second is the nut and bolt application. There can be adhesive also. For example, we are talking about one invention in which someone has used nut and bolt for clamping two elements. They have a patent application, they have granted a patent application. Now, as a innovative person, I came and just I removed that nut and bolt and just I created, clamped those two metal plates with rivet. So nowhere in the first document it was written that rivet can be used. Now I came up with the rivet. Still, it will be obvious to a person skilled in art. Any person who is skilled, it will be obvious. So second person is not eligible to get a grant for a patent application. This is just a small example. On case-to-case basis, it varies. Next. And third is industrial application. So any product that you are going to launch should have industrial application, or it has to be manufactured by the industry. Otherwise, it is not patentable in India. So these are the same requirements which are applicable globally. So if you say US, novelty is novelty. There, inventive step, they call it non-obviousness. They don't have industrial use, they have only use, utility. So anything that has utility can be patented. India has a lot of restriction when it comes to patent application. So in India, we cannot protect defense technology. We cannot protect traditional knowledge. Perpetual machines we cannot protect. Compositions also we cannot protect. So there are very stringent law when it comes to pharmaceutical product discovery. So discoveries are also not patentable in India, and there are very stringent laws in comparison to other countries. So you'll find that there are a lot of patents which have been granted in multiple countries, but sometimes they fail to get a patent application in India. So in India, there is section 3 actually, which lists out somewhere around 17 to 18 criteria of non-patentable items, in which software, presentation methods, defense activity, perpetual machines are not patentable. Just to give you an example, horticulture methods, agriculture methods, devices are definitely patentable. If you are creating an agriculture device, horticulture device, medical instruments are patentable, but the method of treating a patient is not patentable, agriculture is not patentable method, and horticulture methods are not patentable. Just to give you an overview. Okay. Next. So patents can be filed for product, process, composition of matters, machines, and improvement. As Dr. Prasad sir said earlier, your innovation should result into a new product or a process. If it is a new product or a process, then only you are eligible to file a patent application, or then it is logical to file a patent application. If it is not a process, you are just doing a research where you are just consolidating the data from various resources. If it is just an what I can say, improvisation or analysis of some instrument by using different methods. So even if you patent those methods, even if you get a patent, it won't be a product, come into product form. So it becomes very difficult. So when you are doing any research activity, and if you want to form a startup, at the research stage itself, you should make it sure that it is resulting into a new process or a product or a composition or any process mechanism. Otherwise, you can file a paper, present a paper instead of filing a patent application. So before filing a paper, or presenting a paper or publishing a paper, it is recommended to file a patent application if you at all you want to go for patent. So once your patent application is filed, once your invention is published, thereafter you are not eligible to file a patent application. It becomes public knowledge. There is a grace period of 6 months after publication, where you can say that it is not for commercial use, it is just for publication use, but we don't encourage people to do that. If you have a good product, first file a patent application, then go for paper presentation, and then go for commercialization, and then go for discussion with the investors. The first step would be whenever you have a concrete idea in your mind, you provide a solution, then go for patent, and then go for other activities. Okay, so this is the recommended procedure. Next, please. So as I told you earlier, some of the non-patentable items: scientific discoveries, scientific principle, business methods, mere software, individual. Every country has individual laws. So yes, in few countries there are some lenient laws with respect to softwares, but in India we don't have that much lenient laws. We are a little more rigid in providing software patents. Next. Design registration. So when you are developing a product, simultaneously design and patent both can be filed. For accreditation purpose also, design and patents have design registration and patents have value, good valuation, I guess. And even when you are filing a patent application, you can also file a design application if your product is aesthetically new. So if you hold a mobile in your hand, if you see your mobile or your laptop, if you change a brand, there will be a different design application. So even if they have all the keywords same, even they have a same screen set, with minor modification, a new design can be achieved. And whenever I just recommend everyone that whenever you are launching a product, if you're launching a product in the market, make sure that you should have a different design. Different design. Aesthetically, it should look different. It should not look exactly same as that of the competitor's product, because there are other facets which you can infringe. First is copyright, because these drawings are required. Okay, copyright you can infringe. For promoting a product, you need to create some photos and all those promotion stuff. So in that, if the product looks similar, so there is another law, counterfeit law, that can come into picture. Even if you are creating something new, technology-wise, aesthetically it is same. So again, you can attract counterfeit law. So whenever you are doing any R&D activity, first you have to do is change the design, how it looks. Even if you're copying any product, if you're launching any product which is not patented in India, still I would recommend change the looks. Okay, next. So a little bit different with patents and design. Next slide, please. So term of patent is for 20 years. Here it is 15 years. You have to renew it only once, whereas in patents you need to renew it for 18 years. It's very cost effective. Within 2 or 3 months, you can get a certificate if there are no objections. Patent takes at least what I can say 2 to 3 years. If you go through normal route, there are few expedite routes available, but these are available to only government institutes. If a company is a startup, if the company is an MSME, or if the applicant, all applicants are natural person and one of the applicant is a female applicant, then you are eligible to get patent application granted earlier or examined earlier, I can say. Or you need to file a PCT application and then file a patent application in India again, so that your patent application goes through expedite route. So normal timeline for a patent grant is around 2 to 3 years. For design is around 6 months. Grant for patent application can be reduced to 7 to 8 months, that we have done it. If you are eligible to file request for expedite examination. So I think so in your case, when it comes to college, I think you will not be eligible to file expedite examination. You need to go through PCT route, because the college has to be maximum funded by the government. Okay. So design, it is cost effective, it's easy to apply, very cost effective. It is 1/10 of the cost that you are going to spend for patent. 1/10 of the patent cost is required for filing a design application. Okay. So what is required? External views are required. Front, back, left, right, top, bottom, and one isometric view is required. Photographs are preferred when it comes to design registration instead of providing line diagrams. This is what is required by the Indian Patent Office. When it comes to other, they may use line diagrams. Next slide, please. So there is another protection, that is IC circuit layout design. So I don't know whether this has that much utility, but the topography of electronic engineers can understand this more, electronics and IT people. But the topography of any IC circuit that goes into any electronic device, okay, that can be protected under Integrated Circuit Layout Design Act. So if at all that is important, if the topography of any IC circuit is important, then you can protect it. Can you just go 2 slides back, madam? Yes, yes. If at all it is required, if it is a unique topography, definitely you can file. It's very cost effective, and very few applications have been filed in this category. If it is useful, definitely you can file it. Next. So there are other facets of intellectual property that I will just run you through, which may or may not be useful for you. Next slide. So geographical indication is a sign used on a product that has a specific geographical origin and possesses quality or a reputation that are due to origin. So few geographical indications are Kolhapur Chappal, Puneri Pagadi, Sangli turmeric, Nagpur oranges, Shimla, I don't know, Darjeeling tea, Paithani. So these are few of the geographical indications. This is generally useful for the people, group of sellers actually. They can file geographical indication. Next. Just few examples. Next. Solapur Chadar is there. Plant Variety Protection Act. This is specifically for farmers. If you're creating a new plant variety or seeds, definitely you can utilize this act. Next. Agreements. Yes. Next slide, please. Yeah. So agreements generally, many people fail to do these agreements actually before starting a company. So agreements are very important before starting your startup. If there are no proper agreements in place, there is possibility that your entire business can be collapsed or duplicated immediately. So these are the few types of agreements that you can utilize. Agreement with the investors. Okay, so if you are getting some funds from the investors, there has to be a proper engagement. What will be his role, his responsibility? What will be your role, your responsibility? Engagement model should be there. How is going to fund? At what stages you will require the fund? And what are you going to provide and do with those funds? And there has to be an exit policy. Okay, if the investor does not exit. Okay, if the investor does not exit from the startup, it becomes very difficult. So the investor himself becomes a pain. Okay, so exit policy also has to be there in place whenever you are taking funds. Non-disclosure agreements, whenever it comes to third party, if you are developing a product, if you are assigning a work to any third party, where it may be due to your incompetency or lack of resources from your side. In that case, if you have not filed a patent application, till then, you have to have a non-disclosure agreements in place. For startups, definitely, if you are employing someone, definitely the agreement should have non-disclosure agreements. If it is outsourced to any manufacturer or you are utilizing any other resources, they should know that non-disclosure agreement is in place. Next, sorry, please wait. So non-compete agreement. No, before non-compete agreement. So this is also one crucial part. Non-compete means the person who is engaging with you will not copy your product and create a competition to yourself. Okay. What happens is when there is a person who is associating with you, a company or a person, it's most likely that they take away all your intellectual creation and they just duplicate it. Okay, so non-compete agreement is also very much useful. At least you can prevent the person in entering into the market for at least 2 to 3 years. So India has seen a lot of competition happening because this was not there in place. Non-compete agreement was not there in place. Investor assignment agreement, inventor assignment agreement. If you're a company startup and there are a lot of inventors, they have to assign the patent application to the startup. Otherwise, they may take up the invention, or it may be possible that if you are not adding their name as an inventor, they may file revocation for your patent application. So it's mandatory to add every person who has contributed to the invention as an inventor in the patent application. And if you're adding their name, assignment agreement has to be there. Otherwise, it becomes very complicated in the future. Okay. Next is employee-employer agreement. Okay. Work for hire agreement, dealer distributorship agreement, research collaboration agreement. So if you are doing any collaboration with the institutes or researchers or any other external resources, so collaboration agreement has to be there. Who is going to do what part? The patent will be owned by whom? Who is eligible to take commercial benefit out of those patents? Who all will be the inventors? So everything has to be there in place properly whenever there is a collaboration of research. So that's it from my side. If you have any specific questions, because I've not extensively covered patents, if you want a specific presentation on patents, we can have a separate presentation where I will run you through the entire process of patent application, what are the do's and don'ts, and many other things actually. So this was basically for startups and IPR. So I've covered all the aspects of IPR, including agreements. So if at all you have any questions, you are free to ask me, please.
Thank you, Mr. Sudit Savle. You gave a very nice presentation. Your slides were self-explanatory, and we had the opportunity, that we have got 250 people participating in this program.
That's
One
really
of the
great.
highest numbers that I have seen in recent past.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, this is indicative of how the students are interested in this particular activity.
That's really great.
You mentioned several things, and I will. I'm not seeing any question in the students are invited to put questions in the chat box. But before, is there any question, Mr. Rajput, in the chat box?
No, sir, no question currently.
So before the students can frame their question, I would like to engage with you for some time.
Yes, sir.
You started, you first of all, just 1 minute.
Yeah.
You started, you defined the startup.
Yes, yes.
That you said that it is to establish a new company.
Correct.
Okay, fine. So we at PHCET also want to start a new company with the help of students and faculty and with the research facilities that we have. And now coming to the second part, suppose I have invited ideas from the students.
Okay.
We will be getting a lot of ideas, and suppose we feel that at concept level, some ideas are good enough, which can result in the product. It may or may not be at this stage required for patenting, but just to get the knowledge how patents are done, I mean, we'll do the necessary things, that we'll select something and we'll see that how and what we can patent in that. We'll take your help for that, by calling you. You will be one of the examiners for those committee that will be constituted to have this judgment. Now, I have a very small things like that, In IIT, every professor is allowed to have his own company.
Yeah.
And, when the people start a company, if the students log on, there are different types of companies that we come across. One is what they call a limited liability partnership, LLP.
LLP, correct. Yeah.
LLP. Then there is a private limited company. There is public limited company.
Yes.
So they have got different connotations. A small number, suppose somebody with the 2-3 people, with a small number, some students want to start a limited liability, this company. Yeah. So now the second stage is that, as you mentioned, that suppose we have got what is our strength at PHCT? Our strength is that we have got very good faculty, knowledgeable faculty.
Okay.
Our students go through different courses which is related to new technologies, in the current age, like artificial intelligence, machine learning, all those things, and its applications in different industries. And I find I represent the old generation. The new generation is too good, in this one. So we can tap their talent, in this digital age, to apply this to develop, say, product or concepts, So that is what we are trying to do. Another advantage at PHCT is that that Pillai College, both at Panvel and Rasayani, have got different departments, like we have got management. So we can learn something from the people, about the finance and management and marketing. So that advantage also the students have. So they can interact with the students from the management department and gain some ideas. Now, suppose they want to start up a company, hypothetical thing.
Okay.
So as you said, they have to give the name of a company, right?
Correct.
And that name should not be a copied name like Tata, Bata and things like that, okay?
Correct.
Suppose I want, hypothetical case, let me see. My name is RC Prasad. I want to start a company and I want to call it RCP Technologies, okay? Now, when I want to call it RCP Technologies, and when I went to go and register this company, if there is any company like RCP, it will not take my name. Is it correct? Like, it itself will omit that no, such a company is existing and they will not accept it. Because now in this digital age, there are some checks and balances. Suppose I pass through that test, that it accepts that, okay, I have got a company, it is named RCP Technology. And then, it has got a logo of its own that I have desired. Okay. Now, when I come to know that RCP Technology, when the name RCP also means, Reliance Corporate Park. So is it an infringement of the things and things like that? Because at one step, it is RCP Technology and it is RCP, Reliance Corporate Park. So that is one thing. That what doubt, that is one thing. Now, we have given all these trademarks and we have started a company, then comes, as you said, that there are different reasons for failure of these companies. We elaborated very nicely, those failures, because most of the companies, they vanish within startup 4 or 5 years time itself, 1 or 2 years, It is because there was no serious thought that how viable is this company. Okay. So suppose we make a viable company, try to have a oversight thought over that, and our company is viable, So the next thing is finance. Now this finance comes, like we have got just a bank, State Bank of India in front of our Mahatma Education Society. I went to the manager and asked, hey, can you help our students to establish an industry? And I said, why not? I will come to your college. And the banks are giving loans. Now the government policies are like that. I don't know whether you can tell us better than what I know,
They require some tangible like this also, collaterals also.
Collateral, but I think up to certain limits, nowadays the government has been very liberal. They say that now, the new education policy is emphasizing very deeply on startups and entrepreneurship by the students.
Correct.
And they have made several, concessions towards that, So anyway, we'll come to know that what are those concessions. Right. And initially, some investments they are making.
Yes, now, there's a lot of things that those are been floating around, but we have found it very difficult to get it. We are also helping a lot of startups.
You are right. In fact, if you go to the website and you say that nowadays there is no fee for starting LLP. Correct. But when you go and apply for that, nobody will give you a license for that. It is just like a trader's license, like any shopkeeper applies for that. Correct. But it does not come automatically. You have to do a hard work, to run around and to register a company. You have to open a bank account, which is different, So there are so many problems. But it is a good exercise for the students to learn. And that is why, we want to do that. Second thing that what you said is that we have several agreements. We have signed several memorandum of understandings with the different institutes and organizations.
Okay.
Because, we are very strong in association with professional societies and industries,
Okay.
So we have signed many operational memorandum of standings where, we are sharing the knowledge and the facilities for the skill development. Okay. There are also some sort of a IPR policies, as you said, it is mentioned that what will be the IPR policy of both of the disclosures and things like that, Somehow the students are not aware of that. What happens sometimes is, suppose, we get some problems from industries and, students are the very good source, they are energetic. They can go to the library, they can search materials and they can come out with ideas, So we take their help, by giving some, by way of, say, mini project and things like that. And some tangible results comes, sometimes it may be their BE project or any project also. But look, it may be sponsored by a company. The company has sponsored that project and the students do not know. They think that I have done a BE project, so it is my property.
Correct, correct, correct.
So it has to be told to them that, look here, then it is a different than your normal practices, because as you said, suppose it has happened with me, I gave a project problem, which was by a company. And, the students, he put it on the website of his own company. And then, suddenly the young fellow who has given me this problem, he at a night, 10 o'clock, he phones me, sir, what is this? Student has put up this on the website. If my client knows, he will just take legal action against me.
Correct, correct.
So we have to educate the students that, look here, you don't have to do that. So there is a lot of things to learn in that, and I'm very fortunate to have a knowledgeable person like you. And, we have a lot of things to learn. So my request to you is that, please help us in this effort. And we really want to show in a very stipulated time that by starting a company. And so our location is also very nearby to your this new exchange.
Right.
Stock exchange. And stock exchange, when they start any company, the students, the right is as director. Okay. And you have to take a director's identification number. So there are so many things, that that has to be told to the students, which can be done, when we start doing the things practically,
Correct. Even please.
So I will thank Mansi that, she found a person like you, and we look forward to have a good interaction with between our students, yourself, and the faculty through this Institute Innovation Cell. With that, I again welcome you and thank you for this very, very nice talk, that you gave. And as you said, you made it free because you said it is not property rights. So, your presentations, because it's very difficult to digest everything and remember. So if your PPT is there with us, I think we can definitely take advantage of that in the long run.
Definitely. I will share the presentation. It's already shared with the madam.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. And if there are any questions and any faculty members who wants to address, you can just unmute him. Sunil, you can unmute them.
So there is one question from student Omkar Jadhav. So he's asking that how can we check whether our ideas have already been patented or not? For that purpose, is there any website or search engine where we can search?
Yes. Just note my YouTube channel, BRAIN Brainiac, BRAINIAC Brainiac IP Solutions. There is a YouTube channel of Brainiac IP Solutions. There is a separate video on how to conduct a patentability search. So there are a lot of free websites like Google Patent, espacenet.org, worldwide espacenet, Indian Patent Office, USPTO, Free Patents Online. So these are the few websites that you need to search on. Check whether someone has already filed a patent application. Simultaneously, you also need to search on normal publications like Amazon or IEEE or any other paper publication. If someone has disclosed this idea, if they have not filed it, somehow it is disclosed. If it is not found anywhere on this 3-4 platforms, then it's good to go, I guess, for patent.
Yes, but this very important question that comes to my mind also. And when I was at IIT, we do so many projects. And as you said, that patenting is a very costly affair also. But patents are very important because in IIT to get promotion from assistant professor to associate professor to professor, senior professor, you have to always show your research publications and patents,
True.
So there we have got a R&D wing and there are people. So when we do projects, suddenly I get a mail from the R&D office that, look here, this project by this student is patentable. And, we would like to proceed for that. I see, when the students submit any project to us, we check it through plagiarism first. We have got a plagiarism software in our institute also. Our library has got it.
Okay.
So we try to see that how much is allowed, through that. So
Okay.
first check is there itself that will eliminate it,
Okay.
Second thing is, as you said, through different websites, what is the development in that area? Is that area benign area where not much people have handled that, So that sort of a thing will give an idea that whether it is patentable or not patentable, because as you said, you invest a lot of money and
Correct.
you have to maintain that, you see.
Correct.
So that is a very important questions that I can say. Then there is another question by one of our faculty members, Dr.
Yes.
Manvendra Vasishtha.
Uh-huh.
One research project related question. Can I? Yes, of course you can. Dr. Manvendra?
Vashish sir, please kindly unmute yourself.
By the way, let me introduce Dr. Manvendra. He is residing in the IIT campus.
Okay.
His wife is a professor there, and so he wants to ask some questions. So kindly unmute him, Mr. Sunil.
Vashish sir, please go ahead. I think sir is having some issue regarding his duty.
If there is any issue, Dr. Manvendra, can you just write it and put it in the chat box? Dr. Silpa Kewate,
Yeah.
if you have any
Yeah.
questions.
Yes, sir.
He is
Good
from
afternoon,
Civil
sir.
Engineering Department. And
Okay.
recently we organized some poster competition for the students.
Okay.
And many civil engineering students, they got the prizes.
Great, great, great.
And they have used, I think,
Yeah.
one of our students who is doing PhD,
Uh-huh.
she is, it is related to waste management for circular economy. And that was related to using this digital technologies like artificial intelligence and things like that. So I was very much impressed by that particular project, because we organized a national seminar on this digital, this thing, waste management for circular economy for plastics, metals, and tires. And this was organized by Material Research Association of India, ASM International India Chapter, Society for Failure Analysis, and Pillai College of Engineering India Institute Innovation Council. So if you have any question in the meantime, Dr. Shilpa, you can just
Yes,
address.
sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I would like to ask one question on behalf of students, actually. It says students are performing. Hello.
I think Manvendra has joined.
Yeah. So, sir, if students, let us say final year students are doing certain project work and they have discovered one product, right? And at the end, the product is very good and they want to start their own startup company. So what suggestions or what guidelines you would like to give? Because many students are there in final year who come up with some very good project ideas and they want to, have their own companies. So what suggestions or guideline you would like to give to the students?
Yeah.
The product is sellable and the product is good. Of course, the competitors will be there in the market.
Yes, yes.
So how they should start?
I have seen a lot of startups rising up and failing also. This is my personal suggestion to them. Without having a proper experience, directly dropping out from the college and starting your company is a big risk. It's a big risk. So I don't recommend that initially to start a company. But still, if they have taken a decision to start a company, the first thing is they should have a proper protection for your trademarks. Second thing, they should have a proper patent study. They have to check whether someone is there in the market who can buy their product or who can be a competitor to them, where they can create a strong barriers for your entry barriers to the competitors. And if they are launching any product in the market, whether they are infringing some other's product or not. So these 3 QCs are minimum required, and then last comes marketing it. So if they're able to market the product very well, then definitely they can.
Dr. Silpa, I would like to add up to what Mr. Sunil Sable said.
Thank you, sir.
You are most welcome to send those proposals as we have invited students to do. We have asked for concept. You are taking a product as such. So it's great. So kindly send those projects, and I can assure you that I will connect them to Confederation of Indian Industries, which invites such proposals, for all India level competitions, and if they send it by 14th of August, I will connect them to Confederation of Indian Industries, where there are 500 Fortune companies. And if by chance any of those Fortune companies thinks that it is competitive, then they will mentor the student, they will give the financial assistance, they will give everything, So that is why I have started this idea competition.
Yes,
So
yes.
you are most welcome to send your projects. And I hope
Sure.
that we'll be sending this by 30th. I think I will have to see that what is the last date for them, because this is on all India basis, So kindly do the needful. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Yeah, thank you.
So now Manandara is
Hello.
with us. So
Prashant sir, am I audible now?
and now
am I
you are
audible
audible.
now?
Yes, you can go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So, sir, I have one query. Suppose I submit one research proposal to any funding agency, and then after the submission, the research proposal as per the schedule will go to exports. And
Did we got disconnected?
We have lost his voice, I think.
Sir is unmuted actually, but we are not audible from his side.
Has he muted himself?
No, sir. Sir is unmuted, sir.
hello.
Yeah,
Hello,
go
yes,
ahead.
sir.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
now
audible,
you.
sir.
Hello.
Hello?
Sir, am I audible now?
Yeah,
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead. Go ahead.
Hello. Okay.
Go ahead, Dr.
Sir,
Basis.
suppose. Okay. So suppose I submit one research proposal to any funding agency,
Okay.
and then funding agency forward this research proposal to a team of experts.
Okay.
And after some time, I found my research proposal is not granting. But after 6 months, what I see is slight modification in this research proposal, and somebody else is doing the research with the same set of objects. Then what should I do?
Research. See, first is, as I told you earlier, if to stop someone from researching is difficult. Someone from manufacturing and selling products, definitely patents, trademarks, copyright, everything can help you. But it's a little difficult to prevent someone from researching something. So for educational purpose, using patent documents, even research papers as for reference is allowed. So I think it's a little difficult. So for manufacturing and selling a product, definitely patents would be useful. But for research, I am little doubtful whether patents can be useful here.
I can just, I have been a member of SERP, DST, where, the proposals are sent to subject matter experts, and I do get proposals many times. You see, whenever you send whenever you send the proposal, your point is that it has gone to the expert committee of the SERP. So DST has got the member. Do you think that this proposal was utilized by one of the persons who was a member of that? Or you may not have a clue to know that whether he was a member or he was not a member. Is it like that?
No, I know but which not but which professor is using the same concept which I submitted long back to this. And there is almost same concept.
So that because you can blame the people. Had he been a member of the SERP and he was copying you, then it is very nice to say that yes, he has seen your project and he is copying you. But it will be a very difficult idea, because India is so big, 134 crore people, so many scientists. How can we say that
yes,
things are the same?
One thing we can suggest is if you have a copyright application in place, if the content is same, research can be different. Content is same, then at least you can file an infringement suit of copyright. But if the content is different, concept is same, then it's difficult.
This is not new. I have seen many times such court cases have been filed, even 40, 50 years back, because many a times, you know, even the guides sometimes when they guide projects, they have ideas from that. So who is the owner of that? Whether the student is the owner, whether the guide is the owner, both are on. I mean, the institute has to formulate a policy towards that. You see?
That's what.
So the same
Has to
blame
be
can
there
be
in place.
given to us also. That look here, I was the student, I carried out this project, so it should belong to me. So
Correct.
our this policy must be solidly framework, you know.
That's
And that is
true.
what we are trying to do at NISP and IIC, you know.
Right. So policy has to be there, otherwise there will be a lot of conflicts.
There will be a lot of conflicts, you see.
Because sorry to say that, but sometimes what happens is guides, they want their name to be written first. So sometimes this happens. Some students, if they left the college, if there is some fight, they don't want to add that particular student's name in the research, even if they have even they have contributed. If there is a fight between students, so adding the name of the inventor and the ownership are two different issues actually. Ownership can be little tricky issue where the person who is funding should be the owner actually for this project. This is how, as if now our society works. The person who is funding is the owner, and the inventors get the remuneration against their work. That is how it is still working in the companies also. So there has to be a proper framework when it comes to companies. MNCs, they have this framework in place. So that also can be done at the institute level also.
There has been many questions now which is erupted. So Sunil, can you read these questions?
Yes, sir. There is one question from Vedant Sawan. He's asking, sir, if a student or a group of students need to patent an idea or research, so is there any agencies which can give fundings for the patents?
Funding for patents is not, you don't get fundings for patents actually. You get fundings for research activity. So once you research, there are a lot of fundings for research activities, and there are separate fundings. Once your patent applications are granted, then only you get some fundings. And the fundings are available only to companies, not for the individuals. So individual, if you're filing the patent application on individual capacity, there are no fundings. If you're a startup, yes, there are fundings. If you're an MSME company, yes, there are fundings. So after filing patent application, there are few fundings, and for filing patent application, you can contact facilitators. If your company is a startup, then you can definitely contact a facilitator who will do everything free of cost. The facilitator is paid by the government. So you can search on startup website, India's startup website. You will find a lot of facilitators. The fees is very less, so none of our company colleagues are facilitators over there. So we don't want to just ruin our name there. So that is the reason we are not being part of that startup initiative.
Dr. Sunit ji, what are these venture capitalists? How do
These are private fundings, sir. These are private fundings.
It is?
Private fundings.
Private funding. So how the students can look for this venture capitalist?
So venture capitalists in Mumbai, if you see Pillai College of the Panvel, they have a lot of investors in contact with them actually. So if you connect with them, I have met few investors over there, and there are a few companies who are found by the ex-alumni of Pillai College, and those companies have been greatly funded by these people, and these students have now become investors. So I think your college itself would be a good resource to connect with those investors. And there are a lot of websites also. If you do Google also, definitely you'll find a lot of things over there also.
Okay. Other questions, Mr. Sudhir?
Can we go for some more questions, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead.
One question from...
we also have to ask audience to fill the feedback form. The link is posted in the chat box. So I request all the students and faculty to fill the feedback form. Thank you. Sunil sir, you can continue with the question, and then I request Vashish sir to present the vote of thanks.
Okay. So there is one question from Mohammad Sahil Sheikh. He's asking, sir, what if we had investment money before our graduation? So what's the difference after getting this degree and starting our business?
There is no difference actually. There is no difference. So getting a degree is a representation that society needs to evaluate your education compatibility. if without degree, if you are able to achieve success in the industry and thrive in this market, definitely there is no need of degree as well. So I hope lot of great entrepreneurs are dropped out from their colleges, I guess. I hope I have answered your question in the right way.
You see, in IIT, we have got a Society for Innovation sign, which if the students have got some ideas during their undergraduate or postgraduate programs, they are provided a space to develop that, what they call it incubation and things like that. So they get a place where they can go, they can do further research, and they can establish that company over a period of time. So we are thinking on the similar pattern, we have got a this thing, innovation center, where such students, who have that idea, we will provide them all the amenities, because, we subscribe to a large number of journals, on the online. So many of the ideas and things, we have got several standards, which are available in our library.
Great.
So that will be a nice place even after their graduation. I think we'll request them to see and explore some possibility that jointly, they can follow their thing, in our institute.
Yeah, that would be really great for every alumni of the college.
Next question, Sunil.
Sir, there is one more question. I think this is the last question. As a final year students, will be using an open source software or hardware for their projects. So will this affect in any way when we are going to try applying for any patent?
So filing a patent won't be a problem, but launching a product will be a problem. So till you file a patent application, no one is going to file a case against you because you used something that was already known. Even if the patent is granted, no one is going to pursue you. So people will pursue you only when you are hampering their business. So once you launch the product, definitely there will be an infringement. If there is an open source hardware, software, there will be some ownership from third party, or some infringement has to be there if at all it is possible. So filing a patent won't be an issue, but launching a product, at least you need to check whether you are infringing any live patents.
So this question may be important from the point of view, nowadays you must have heard about 3D printing.
Correct.
There are certain softwares, to convert these 3D images to STL5. So those are the softwares which are freely available. But what I think is that is, suppose we make certain product using those softwares which are freely available, and we are not patenting the software for doing the 3D printing. We are making some innovative 3D products,
Then it's not a problem.
So it should not be a problem, but we can discuss with you, because as a legal aspects of it, sometimes we can discuss this problem in detail with you, that what are those softwares and how, whether it will be a violation of the patent rights or things like that. To my mind, it should not. It should not.
It should not. Actually, using a software as a tool for developing something is never a problem.
Exactly. Exactly.
Never a problem.
So with this, I think there are no questions, I suppose, Mr. Sunil.
Yes, sir. This was the last question.
We must thank all our students, who so intensely participated in this discussion. And I hope this is going to bring results in near future to our Innovation Council. And in the near future, we are going to have you, sir, in our campus, and have a better feel for all the things that we have discussed today. Over to Dr. Manavendra Vasist for giving the vote of thanks.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. It is my great pleasure to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of Pillai HOC College of Engineering and Technology and myself, Dr. Vasist, at Department of Applied Science and Humanities. I express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Sunil Sabale, sir, Director at Brainig Global Consulting Private Limited, today's chief guest and eminent speaker, for sparing his valuable time and being with us this morning. He has distinguished himself in the field of technical education, IPR, and scientific research in this country. On behalf of the Institute, I thank him most heartily for providing us such a wonderful talk on intellectual property rights and IP management for the startup. As most you must be aware that it is that time. Hello, sir, is it audible or not?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir, audible.
As most of you must be aware that it is the need for all. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us such a wonderful and informative talk and accepting our request. Now I would like to thank Dr. K.M. Vasudevan Pillai, sir, Chairman MES, and Dr. Daphne Pillai, ma'am, Secretary MES, for providing us world-class infrastructure and their encouragement for conducting such events. Our sincere thanks and gratitude to both and the entire higher management. I would like to express my profound gratitude to our Deputy CEO, Dr. Lata ma'am, for their constant motivation all the times. I would like to thank Dr. R.C. Prasad sir, President IIC, Dr. G.V. Patil sir, Convener IIC, Head Mechanical Engineering Department for significant initial remarks, and Dr. Mansi Subedar, IQAC Coordinator and Head EXTC Department, and our entire team for organizing such an informative event in the field of research and development. I also like to thank our all beloved head of the departments of different departments for their moral support and guidance. I'm happy to express vote of thanks to all faculty members within the institution and outside the institution who have made this seminar a grand success. Finally, the wonderful participation by all of you who have turned up in such a great numbers, not only from our institute, but some of them from outside institute also. Thank you so much for kind cooperation and patience. Once again, I thank you all for a wonderful cooperation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone for being patient during this presentation. Thank you for having me, everyone. Thank you. And have a
Thank
nice-
you, sir. Thank you. See you again.
So
Thank you.
thanks everyone. We'll meet again.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.